back at it again, and oh boy, they're in trouble. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new, and let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be in Philadelphia on October 9th to make a major announcement at the very birthplace of our nation. I'm not going to tell you right now exactly what that announcement will be. I can say, though, that if you've been waiting to come to one of my public events, this will be the one to come to. I'll be speaking about a sea change in American politics and what your part and my part is in that change. A lot of Americans who had previously given up any hope that real change would ever come through the American electoral process have begun to find new hope in my candidacy. And I understand the deeply felt concern that people have about the way corruption has overtaken our government. It's in the executive branch, it's in Congress, it's in the leadership of both political parties. And so some people feel a kind of cynicism alongside the hope, or they lose hope entirely because they've been disappointed so many times. I want to tell you now what I've come to understand after 6 months of campaigning. There is a path to victory. The hope we are feeling isn't some kind of trick of the mind. We all recognize that there's a genuine possibility of national transformation, and its source is the goodness of the American people. Our government may be crooked, but our people are kind, brave, and caring. That goodness is stronger than the divisions that are keeping us all apart. I see it every day on the campaign trail, and the more I see it, the more I trust it. And the more I trust it, the more the path to victory becomes visible. So how are we going to win against the established Washington interests? It's not through playing the game by the corrupt rules that the corrupt powers and the vested interests have rigged to keep us all in their thrall. Instead, we're going to have to rewrite the assumptions and change the habits of American politics. We're going to tap into a mighty surge of people power to reclaim an honest, peaceful, just, and prosperous America. So I am inviting you to join me in Philadelphia on October 9th. There I'll share with you our path to the White House and how we can all participate in healing our nation.
Historic announcement, October 9th. Now, there's speculation as to what that announcement actually is, and the speculation is that he's announcing that he's running as an independent, a third party. He's dropping out of the DNC and running independent. And, you know, some people may say, oh, man, that's going to be bad for Trump. It's not going to be good. He's going to cause Joe Biden to win. But I disagree. And there's other folks that actually disagree as well. And we're going to dive into a clip from Tim Pool and the cast. Like I said, they do a fantastic job over there on the Timcast IRL show. I'm going to play, a few minutes of this because they're really saying some interesting stuff at the beginning of this video here that I want you guys to hear and really take in. So check this out.
Here's a story from the Post-Millennial. Breaking: RFK Jr. plans to announce independent run for president. Kennedy plans to make the announcement on October 9th in Philadelphia. Good place to do it. According to Mediaite, Kennedy plans to make the announcement October 9th in Philly with a text message viewed by the outlet stating that his campaign is planning attack ads against the Democrat National Committee to pave the way for the announcement. Bobby feels the DNC is changing the rules to exclude his candidacy, so an independent run is the only way to go. On Saturday, New York Times published a piece stating that Kennedy met with Libertarian Party Chair Angela McArdle in July at a Memphis conference. He emphasized that he has committed to running as a Democrat, but said that he considered himself very libertarian. McArdle said, adding, "We are aligned on a lot of issues, including the threat of the deep state." Here's what I think. I think they gave Kennedy the middle finger, which they should not have done. He's polling decently. I mean, polls have him in a wide range from 7 up to 25%. I think you were saying before the show that 7's a little low, 25's a little high. Yeah. But if he runs as an independent and he goes after the DNC over this, he is spiking the Democratic Party. It's going to help Trump.
This is a couple of things. One, if you're Trump, though, we had been asking, if your guy doesn't get the nomination, what are you going to do? And 33
of Republicans.
Yeah, everyone.
Of everyone.
Everyone. So if for the Democrats, people who chose RFK, 30-something% for months have said, well, if it's Trump, I'll vote for Trump. So if you're Trump, you're looking at it, you're like, I want some soon to be disaffected RFK voters like Bernie voters in 2016.
Right.
So there's that part of it. There is scant polling on this. We're going to poll this. We're going to poll this, and we're going to poll this soon to see, Biden, the Democrat, Trump, the Republican, and of RFK, the independent. And we'll put West in there, too. We'll see what it really, that's going to happen. He'll be on the ballot.
Cornell?
Yeah. I mean, Democrats are going to get spiked across the board.
If this
Cornell
really
West.
if this goes bad for Democrats, which it may not. I mean, I'll wait to see what the data says. But if it does, you're looking at the Ross Perot analogy is accurate. Then, folks.
What would be really hilarious though? There's a lot. Mike Cernovich's got a series of tweets that we're going to talk about in a second, very dire ones. But this fear of losing in 2024, and I'm just kind of like, could you imagine if it's like Donald Trump gets 43% of the vote? But Biden, because of Cornell West and RFK, only gets like 39.
And he'll wind up with Tim. He'd win states Republicans don't win if that happens.
RFK?
No, I mean Trump. He would take Maine. He's definitely going to take Maine. There would be some states that are really uncomfortable.
So let's think about let's Maine.
Yeah.
What percentage does the Republican candidate get in Maine on average for the president?
Depends. If you're Donald Trump, you get pretty close. You take the second congressional district, then you can get within 8 points usually, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Maine doesn't have a big population.
What did we have? So that means Trump's at where does that within 8 points? What does that put him at? 46 to Biden's 54.
I think he got 44 last time, something like that.
And then Biden ended up with like 42 or 43.
Well, no, 52 in Maine.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
I didn't realize he lost that much of the remaining votes.
Yeah,
right?
If though, let's say West is on there, he takes 4. So now
RFK takes 10,
and then you're looking
Trump
at Biden.
Wins Maine.
Biden with 38, Trump wins Maine with 45%.
This is a game changer, man.
You mentioned Ross Perot and what happened in '92. I don't know if people listening even know the Ross Perot story, but he came out of nowhere, out of the business sector, and ran for president in 1992 against George Herbert Walker Bush and Bill Clinton. And everyone expected George Herbert Walker Bush to win his second term as president. He was the incumbent. But Ross Perot split the vote, and then Clinton took it.
Yeah, Clinton never was elected with a majority. People don't really look back on him.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, way less, 44%.
Right.
They look back at him, and he's got a high hindsight approval rating, so people are like, oh, well, he must have. They just think he blazed right past Bush and then Dole. He didn't. There is, though, something that's nagging me in the back of my mind, though. He's an anti-establishment guy. And when you have two anti-establishment guys, I'm looking at it as a lane. We'll see.
I disagree. I disagree. There are leftist anti-establishment.
That's true.
But very few. And what I think you have, 2016, where was I? I was like, I said in 2016, I'm not voting for Trump. 2015, I'm not voting for Trump. 2017, 2018, 2019, then 2020, Trump put out his list of what his plan was. And then I said, if this is Trump's plan, these agenda items, I agree with too much of this
I'm on board.
Honestly say I would vote against it. And considering they're trying to run Joe Biden, and we know what Biden's all about, I cannot honestly say I could support the Democratic Party. There were a lot of people who are still Democrats who voted in 2020 for Biden, who are now saying it was a mistake. But some of these people are saying, please let it be RFK or literally anyone else. They are begging Biden not to be there. If Biden is the nominee, and RFK runs an independent, there are people who are Democrats who are upset about what happened with Joe Biden, or upset at the state of the country, but still won't vote for Trump. They'll either not vote West or vote RFK.
Trump's floor is solid.
Trump's
bottom end is locked in. You are like the MAGA people.
You think so? I mean, I don't think he works out,
The MAGA people are just, they're not going to change no matter what.
Facts.
He was right when he said, I could go out in Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and they would still vote for him. That is still the case. The people that love Donald Trump love him to death. I don't think that there's a whole lot of chance for Joe Biden if it's split up between Kennedy and I forget what his name is. We were just talking about him.
West.
Cornell West.
I mean, though they will split the Democrat, and I don't like Trump vote up, and I think enough where Trump would get in. Now, this is just talking a year and a half or a year and change early, so obviously all this can change, and this is just my first impression, but I'm confident that Donald Trump's floor isn't changing. You know, so
Yeah, let me just point out because nobody talks about this, what they did to this guy, changing the schedule, front-loading South Carolina.
To RFK.
Oh, I mean, the first in the nation primary and caucus status is out. That's done. We're talking about a culture, a heritage that went on for years. There's a reason why. Joe Biden's state is South Carolina. That's his solid early state contest. And they front-loaded it on the schedule, something that nobody would ever think they would do.
Oh, they voted early? They moved the vote?
it on the calendar. So Iowa, it no longer is the first in the nation contest, and New Hampshire is no longer the first in the nation primary.
So
it's a big move.
They did that intentionally or assumedly because to do it before RFK could even campaign? They want to get the vote?
Yes, they wanted Joe Biden to have a win right away. And then small states are cheaper to compete in. So.
Let me pull up this poll, and we got 538 right here. This is the Democratic primary polls, even though there probably isn't going to be one, but this is interesting. They've got Kennedy in second place with 15%. This is McLaughlin Associates. ABC News and the Washington Post doesn't have Kennedy. Have Biden versus Harris, which is really interesting. Don't know why they would do that. Biden beats Harris by 30 points. Wow. And then we have Harris X with Kennedy at 20% and a second poll at 16. We have Emerson with Kennedy at 14, YouGov with Kennedy at 7, and Rasmussen with Kennedy at 25. University of New Hampshire for the primary in New Hampshire has Kennedy at 9. Then you've got 19, 15, 14 as the remaining polls. All of these polls show Kennedy in second place in the double digits. So about 14, 15 seems reasonable for Kennedy.
We were at 15 last time. Our last poll we're about to do another national. We tried to do one a month. He was at 15.
I hope he runs.
Yeah.
It would just be the...
Yeah. Shout out to Tim Pool. That's where that clip came from. If you want to check it out, I'll leave the link down below. If I forget, just remind me in the comment section. But yes, this could spell major doom for Democrats if they have to split the vote between Biden, Cornel West, and RFK Jr. Now, there will be some Republicans, which maybe they're not really Republicans, but there probably will be some Republicans, a few that will vote for RFK Jr. I could see that happening, but I don't think it's going to be enough to counterbalance the split from Joe, because as we've seen in past videos, there's a lot of Democrats who don't want Joe. The polls have showed that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they were pretty darn high of people that said that they would prefer someone else other than Joe Biden. So now they have two options other than Joe Biden: Cornel West and RFK Jr. So I think that spells a major problem for Democrats, and it's a major W for Uncle Trump, and honestly, this nation. Because, yeah, it may sound, a bit far-fetched, but if Republicans don't win in 24, it's over. It's cooked. There was a point in time where I kind of felt, maybe 28, we could bring it back. But, the more that this stuff happens and, the less my confidence in having a comeback in 28, I have very little confidence in it, okay? I'll just say that. My confidence is dwindling when it comes to making a comeback in 2028 if we don't win in 24. But I do believe that we will win in 24. Now, that poll where Trump was up by 10 points, I could see it, but I also could see that Trump is only up by 4 or 5 points. Mainly because of how the mainstream media has demonized him and made it sound and seem as if he's this horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person. Because I was one of those people who just believed he was a terrible person. And until I had a light bulb moment, I was like, wait, why in the world do I hate this guy? I can't even tell you why. Let me actually sit down and listen to him and check him out and, hear his thoughts and his actual opinions, and not just the opinions of mainstream media or social media about him. And then obviously, here we are today. But I think it's more likely that he's only up by 4 or 5 points than the 10. I think the 10 may have been, and this is just me guessing. I don't have any facts to back this up or any proof. But I think that poll was meant to shock the Democrat voters into waking up, and it was almost like a rallying cry, right? What they tried to get Trump to give them which he hasn't given them in any interview, that may have been, you know, a rally cry. Look, guys, look, Democrat voters, if you guys don't show up and show out, Trump's going to win. Look, he's up by 10 points right now. He's going to win. It's going to be the end of democracy. Look, look, look. You know, I think it was one of those kind of things. But, you know, only time will tell. We shall see. But I do believe that Trump is in the lead. And I've shown what I feel is evidence to back that up in several videos now. I honestly and truthfully, this isn't just me, you know, trying to pander or anything like that. I honestly do believe even if RFK Jr. or Cornel West don't run, I really do believe that Trump would still win. It won't be a massive 10-point, you know, kind of spread, but I do believe that he will win in an election. And you know, with the two of, you know, RFK Jr. and Cornel West running, oh man, I think it could get real ugly for Democrats, which honestly, that's what I want. I would prefer to see a landslide versus just a simple win. Obviously, I'll take it any type of win, right? I'll take a win where Trump barely skates by the skin of his teeth, you know, just a few votes, just 5,000 votes here and 2,000 votes there. I don't care. It could be just razor thin, right? Razor thin. I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't care. But I would much prefer a landslide victory where a statement is made. A major, major statement is made. And I believe it's possible. But what do you think? Let me know. Peace and love, family. I'm out.